Okay guys, good morning, or just afternoon I think my time. This is Ari from Remote Pilots Australia, and I am on Tamborine Mountain, which is to the southwest of where I live and on the eastern side of what's called the Scenic Rim. Now, I've got a bit of a tricky takeoff to go here, and we're right on the side of a road, so I'm waiting for vehicles to move. Alright, I've got power lines directly above the aircraft, so we want to get off.
Has been updated. Please
And
check
now I'm
it
going
on
to
the
move
map.
away. Okay guys, and who have we got here? We've got somebody already. Hey, above and beyond. How we going, mate? Jim, how are you? Could you keep an eye on that for chat, mate? I've got my brother looking at the chat. So guys, as I said, this is Mount Tamborine. I'm flying off the inland side of it. I've got to be very, very careful here. I am very close to a military no-fly zone and also to a hang gliding area, and there are hang gliders in the air currently. So I am taking care of what there is. And yeah, all right. We're going to, I'm just checking all my exposures, etc., etc. Guys, making sure that I'm happy with everything, how it is. I haven't been happy with the clarity lately of my live streams, although it's been looking okay on the playback from what comes off the card, so I'm just assuming it's our lousy links in Australia.
I'm going to bring the car back.
Yeah.
And use the shade of the car.
Hey Tom, hey Dennis, how are you? Yeah mate, not a worry. So, as you're hearing, I'm on Mount Tamborine. Now we'll take a bit of air and we'll take a bit of a fly out over. It's a beautiful spot here, and I'm not going to be venturing too far out from the side of the mountain, because here in Australia we're not like in the US where, you know, it's 400 feet above ground level or obstructions. You know, if we come to something that's over 400 feet high, we're going to go around it. It's just 400 feet high, period. And if I'm flying off the side of a mountain and it's going down like this one, which I very nearly fell off just before, I kid you not, I'll show you when I bring the bird back. It's, you know, if I travel 30, 40 metres from where I am and the mountain's going down at an 80-degree slope, I can only go out as far as I can go without being more than 400 feet above the ground, not takeoff point. I'm only 14 metres, about less than 50 feet above takeoff here. I'm just giving you a bit of a panorama. This is all what's called the Scenic Rim, Mount Tamborine, and all of these peaks that you'll see come by, which are, you know, Mount Warning and Mount Barney and so forth, all out there in the distance. This is all an ancient volcanic basin. These are all, I'm sitting on an extinct volcano, because if it's in Australia, they're all extinct, fortunately for us. Although up there in New Guinea and so forth, not so much so. Okay, now I'm going to put it, as you can hear the hoggly-dogglies going by, the highly dangerous ones. I'm just going to pan out, and I'm going to take a little flight a bit further out from the from me here. I want to change my compass display, and I'm going to do a side slip along the side of the mountain and let you guys have a look. And I'm just going to have a quick look at the iPad mini here. I'm in bright sunlight, so it's making me hard. Hey Ron Lockwood, how are you, mate? Don't pick on Harleys, mate. I only need a tricycle, a pedal-powered one, to pick on Harleys, and they can't catch me. Best two-wheel tractor ever made. I realise that, you know, I'm dicing with death here. All right, guys, so I'm just taking a slow sideways curtsy along the mountain here, giving you guys a bit of a look-see, and trying to keep the bird in sight while I'm doing it. I'm only 300 feet away, and I really do not want to get too far. And Yeah, you can. Well, if my dad can see it, I've got Dad beside me. If he can see it, then I should be okay. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Tell him, Ron. Oh, well. Guys, actually, I don't mind Harleys after they stop giving them push rods. When they got to the point where they didn't have push rods, but I really hate coming out to my garage and finding pools of oil. And you guys who are Harley lovers, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about here. They are certainly not the older ones, not oil tight, that's for sure. Now, when I sort of get a bit closer to me, I'll there you go, Phil. Peter Carroll, how are you, mate? Peter, I'm up on Mount Tamborine here, dicing between the military airspace and the hang glider area. And I'm going to swing around and face back towards the mountain. Got to be careful when I bring it in, it'll be tail first.
Right, now I'll be able to read the iPad.
Okay. Now that's the car with the door opens where we are. I'm sitting in front of it. There we are. And I'll pan down and zoom in. That's right. That good-looking bloke on my left is my dad. Or at least that's what he's been claiming for all of these years. Whether or not, that's another matter. I'm not going to go into that. I'm just going to bring it down a little closer.
Okay.
All right. Hey, guys. And as you can see, if you look up, I've got power lines here. And if you can see the landing spot in front of me, that is on the edge of a precipice. And I just put my foot over that precipice while I was setting up. So that was a moment. And my father had just said to me 20 seconds before, don't fall over there. So don't you hate it when your dad's right? Even at my age, my dad is showing that annoying habit of being right. Let's see the Panama Bowl. Oh my God. Hey, Art. I'm probably only going to fly the one battery from here, guys, because there's literally only so much to see. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a quick pop up to my maximum height, and then I'm going to do a pirouette, give you the 360-degree view, and then get back down here where I'm not going to be causing anybody a drama. Now I'm close into me, so I'm going to pop up now. We're climbing.
That's Joe rolling.
Yep, that's Dennis.
I did a classy landing at Ron's last night.
Uh-oh. Is it still in one piece, Dennis? Is that what you mean by classy? Yeah, then I'm going to punch her out to about 100 metres. We're allowed 121, which is 400 feet. Okay. I'm at 100 metres above takeoff, guys. And
Peter Carroll, High Oz Beach.
Yep, Oz Beach, Andy. All right, not a worry. Good day, guys. Welcome to the stream from Mount Tamborine. All right, time to...
Rick Helver.
Yep.
Early, Ari.
Oh, I tried to get here a bit earlier this week, Rick, because I know that, especially for you guys in the US, it's an odd time for you, but this is when I can get out. Now we're looking down into the scenic Rim Valley down there. It's a really lovely spot. I'll pan it out so you get a look. It's very, very, very picturesque here, and well loved by the hang glider pilots and so forth. They take off from up here on the mountain and they land down in the valley at Canungra, down that way, sort of thing. Whereas I call this a mountain. That's a mountain by Australian standards. I think it's 1,300 metres, and that puts it in the top 10 mountains in this damn country, of course, because everything is so geologically stable here. We're just coming back around to where we started, and I'm now going to zoom into. I'm running at 4K, so I'm only going to get a 2-time zoom today, guys. But we're going to do another one with the zoom so you guys can go. Now, hopefully, I'm just going to do a manual focus out into infinity there, and I'm just going to check. And didn't focus it really out to infinity, did it? I'm going to manually focus this thing, I think. I don't know. Let's have a look what it says now. It does not want to go out to infinity, and I'm just going to manually force the focus. Or maybe I'm not either, it doesn't want me to. Oh dear, it's fighting me.
Hi there, my neck, Rick. Hi there, my neck is bugging a lot.
Who is it?
Hi, Rick Helber.
Hi Rick. Hope your mum's doing
My
all right.
neck is bugging a lot. Last week, not sure what's going on.
That's not good. You should go in and get looked at. I hope your mum's doing well also. Now,
Andy, Magic Area.
it's nice.
Always nice to visit.
You know, this is annoying when the damn thing's not going to let me manually adjust focus.
There goes another Harley.
Because it's supposed to. Yeah, it went, but it didn't go over the top of over the side of the mountain, unfortunately. Oops, I'm going to pay for that, I know. Okay, it is allowing me, I think, some manual adjustment. Swipe down, all right. Oh dear. All right, I'm going to zoom it back in.
What about me in Ireland? It's 3:15 in the morning. Them lads in
I can't hear you, Phil, I'm sorry, mate.
What about me in Ireland? It's 3:15 in the morning then.
Oh yeah, but you bloody Irish don't matter.
USA are grand. It's not even 10:15 on East Coast and only 7:15 West Coast.
Well, I was earlier for you too, Tom, so... There we go, that's allowing me to adjust it somewhat manually. Not as much as I'd like to. That's why. Okay. Rightio. Alright. No, not that far. Oh dear. Doesn't seem to have any median in it here today. Alright, well I'm going to pop out to the full zoom again now. No, I fancy that's blurred. I'm going to rely on the autofocus, guys. I reset all of my... It's better, I can see that even on the iPhone. I reset all of my camera settings because I wasn't happy with how it looked while I was live streaming down at Kingscliff the other week. But when I looked at it on the card, it was perfect, so it must just be me. I did reset all the camera settings. I did turn off AFC. That's the only thing. I don't want it to refocus while I'm flying. You're now looking down to the south, Mount Warning. You can see the New South Wales border from here. We're coming back over the mountain on which I'm sitting. And I don't know in the phone whether I can't see it because I've got the sunlight on the screen, but if you can see blue in the distance, that is the Pacific Ocean. It's about 30 or 40 kilometres from here. Okay, now I don't want to lose height here over the mountain too much. Another Harley, yeah, I know. I fancy you might be able to see the Pacific there a little bit, guys. But I don't want to lose too much height down the side of the mountain because it is an extremely precipitous drop, and I'd be very likely to catch the trees on the way back. I'm going too fast here, sorry guys. I just thought that I would bring you guys up. I've been looking at this location to fly for a long time, and on the charts it's very hard to tell whether I was in the restricted airspace. It's an RA3 here, which is as high as we get in Australia, and it's very hard to tell. And I looked at the charts myriad times, and up until very recently our officially endorsed flight app, which is Can I Fly There, was very hard to tell. But we've got a new one. They're discontinuing on Can I Fly There, and they've released a new one called Open Sky, which I'm using as part of the consultation process with CASA, just looking up for the drone. And Open Sky is a little bit more expensive, and it was able to give me a good idea. So I drove up here today, and I stood here on the side of the mountain and nearly fell off, and managed to ascertain that I was about 1.25 kilometres outside of the no-fly zone. So I thought, yeah, I'll be brave. All right, I'm going to fly out a bit away from the mountain as far as I can before I think that I am 400 feet AGL, which isn't going to be that far. Yeah, she's off into the distance, Dad. All right. Now I'll turn it back towards the mountain and give you somewhat of a panorama of the mountain itself. That's where we are there now. And we'll do a little bit of a flight along sideways, and we're travelling at about 45, 48 kilometres an hour. I don't mind travelling sort of like 300 metres distance with the Mavic, but much more than that, and I am pushing, you know, the definition of line of sight here. I was talking to my brother and my son this week. I'm waiting for the certification process to be put in place for observers here in Australia. That's right, not like the US, when we've just recently... Sorry?
Very nice.
Thanks, guys. We've recently been gifted extended line of sight and some nighttime operations, but to do that you've got to have an officially certified observer or chain thereof. So if I wanted to fly, say, 2 kilometres away, I'd need at least 2 observers and myself.
Above and beyond. It is an excellent view through.
Thanks, mate. Good to see. I'm a bit happier with the footage this time. I'm getting down to around 40%. Now, I may be on in half an hour or an hour because as I head home, I'm just going to look out for other sites. And if I think it's worthwhile, then I might stop and I can see that the camera just changed its settings there several times, which is less than ideal. Mind you, we've got one of those days where it's partially overcast, so that's an issue. Oops. I could try manual settings, but you're going to have to... Oh, that's right, I'll have to stop recording. All right, we'll try that. And I'm going to want to really pump up the the ISO. I'm bringing it back round. Yep, I'm on about 2000 ISO of 2000 for 0, but I'll leave it there for the moment and we'll see what happens. Ah dear. Alright guys, I'm not happy with the visibility I've got on my display here because of the sunlight. I consider it a little bit compromised. I'm going to bring it in home and put it down. So I don't know why I even bothered with that on the camera. I'm just going to go back to auto and I'm going to bring it home, land it, pack it up, and you might see me on a little bit later if I see anything worthy of getting some footage over. But I hope you've enjoyed your view of the scenic rim, guys. Now, I cannot even see where I'm going. All right, I'm just going to bring it in by sight. All right, back out, facing outwards again. You'll hear the aircraft, and I will leave the camera going so you can see how close I have to go to the side of the mountain here to see what we're doing, to get a takeoff point that meets all the regulations. Now you can probably hear the drone. If we would look straight down, I don't know whether that's... Yeah, that did swivel, as you see. If you look down, right down, straight down, and I come back, I'll just come sideways. Now if you come back, you'll see that I come over the side of the mountain. There's the landing pad, guys. It's literally a foot from the side of the drop. Okay, all right. As you can hear, it's singing the "I Have Almost No Battery Left" song, which, unlike a certain fellow won't name, Mikey, I don't set it -7%. Just going to put it down.
Landing.
Okay, guys, thanks for joining me on the flight. It was a good one. I may be back on later, but you'll be in bed, Tom. It's good catching up with you and everybody else. Take care, everybody. And if I don't fly again before next week, I'll catch you next week. Cheers, everyone.